Respect is very important, fellas. Respect is very important. I'll always treat you respect. I'll always give you respect. There's no healthy relationship that you can get with no respect in between. I don't care if this is your older brother, older sibling, or anybody from the neighborhood that you respect. You know those neighborhood big brothers. As much as you must respect them, they must respect you back. Respect is crucial. It's very important. I'm a firm believer that you need to have boundaries. Okay, I know Africans sometimes don't know what boundaries are. Yeah, I know. I'm very straightforward. I'll tell you the truth. I will not sugarcoat. I don't expect everybody to like me. You know that. I don't expect that, because people that speak like me are generally not liked by everybody. It's just a bunch of people that are very specific, and it's okay for me. Like a charger from a Samsung cannot charge an iPhone, even if it's a brand new charger. They may both be brand new cell phone, that's an iPhone, and a brand new charger of a Samsung. I don't care how hard you're trying to put them together. It's not going to work. One is going to break. Does it mean they don't work? Of course they work. Does it mean the charger doesn't work? It works. It's just not the right phone. Does the phone work? Yes, it works. It's just not the right charger. So I believe people are like cell phones. Some people are iPhones. Some people are Samsungs. So does it mean one is better than the other? Not necessarily. It means we're different. There are your spiritual tribe that are not necessarily people from your people. Your spiritual tribe are not necessarily from your people. And I believe as much as we human beings are born from different countries, we have spiritual tribes. Your clan is spiritual. You find people from your clan as you progress in life. You're not necessarily born with your people. That's the reason why you don't talk to everybody in your community. They went to the same schools as you. They saw the same pastors as you. They went to the same religious places as you. Why don't you get along with everybody? Because they're not from your spiritual tribe and clan. Sometimes you meet people from your spiritual tribe and clan online. Like some of you come here regularly 3 times a day. Because I'm one of you, you one of us. But respect is very important. Okay? Respect is crucial. You give respect, you receive respect in return. That's how you have healthy relationships. If the setup is set in a way that one respects, the other one just receives, yeah, you're in for a rude awakening. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate it. My name is Zack. I don't know who you are, but your first time, you're very welcome. We want you here. We want you to stay. Okay? We want you to come back tomorrow, the next day. We're here every single day. You're going to get enough of it. Enough of it, but you will like it. No doubt about it. I see you from all over the place. In this place, we talk about the motherland, Africa. We also talk about Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Kenya, Liberia. We talk about South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. We talk about Jamaica. We talk about Trinidad and Tobago. Watch some of our videos pass. We talk about the United States of America, especially the black community. We talk about Britain. We talk about our people all over the world. I see you and I greet you and I salute you. Today we are in Uganda. Yes, Uganda on a map. Beautiful place, lovely people. I said it before, I will say it again. Uganda is the partiest country I have visited. Yeah, partiest people. Very nice people, very friendly. They're very happy, okay? I remember I went to a club one day. I was actually documenting for you and I met some guy. We don't even know each other. He was like, hey, bro, how are you, bro? I was like, hey, bro. He was with this girl, but he was so cool, so nice. You feel welcome. They don't make you feel like you're a stranger because you don't speak their language. That's the problem with many Africans. You go to their nations, if you don't speak their home language, they look at you funny. You need to open up a little bit, okay? Not everybody is trying to move into your country, take your job, take your girlfriend and stuff like that. And you should be worried about people taking your jobs and your girlfriend. It means you're not competent. Yeah. Why are you worried? If you're good, nobody should be able to take your stuff because you already have the position. You have the papers. Number one, you have the ID, you have the brains, you have the talents, you have the ability. Why are you worried somebody's going to take your job? Why are you worried somebody's taking your girlfriends or your women? It means you're not treating them good. Maybe you need to level up. Don't avoid competition. Use competition to grow, to be the best. Maybe you're earning 50. If you learn from competition, you could be earning 200. That's what I'm saying. Ugandan people are very interesting people. Now, something interesting is happening in Uganda. The World Bank has announced that Uganda has taken adequate steps to address the concern that they had and they want to come back and work in Uganda. Piga makofi. Piga makofi first. I'll explain later. Piga makofi. Yeah, piga makofi means clap your hand in Swahili. Swahili is, once again, the most spoken language in Africa. You see all these countries here? Kenya, Burundi, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Congo, and some of all of that, they speak Swahili. Okay, their Swahilis are not equal, but they can understand each other, no doubt. With a little bit of explanation if that's required. But cool people. Now, in Uganda, World Bank is back. I will explain to you very slowly so everybody can understand. World Bank is back saying, listen, we are ready to work with you. We are ready to give you money for your infrastructure, for your projects, for hospitals, for schools, for HIV people, for whatever, provided we get our interest benefits that you have to pay us. So what happened is very simple. World Bank was very angry at Uganda a while back. You're certainly asking yourself, why? Because Uganda had voted a law, and this brand new law condemned men that lack other men. You know what I'm saying? The parliament voted a law. They had to present to the president to sign and make it law. So basically it's, if you lack another man, please do it in private. Okay? Go do your things in private, where nobody is going to see you. Don't be walking on the street and tapping each other's butts. We don't want none of that in our country. That's what Uganda said. Number two, if you come and recruit youngsters, like teenagers and stuff, into Baoda life, you're going to be arrested. So, number one, if you do it in public, you're going to be arrested. You're going to be arrested. If you go talk to youngsters, teenagers about that, you're going to be arrested. Number three, if you happen to have that disease that does not have a cure, and you transmit that to another man, they're going to you. Yeah, they not play, but yeah.
A woman from the World Bank rang me, and I told her exactly as I'm telling you. I said, I'm going to sign the bill because of the 3 points I've told you. Merely being, no, we cannot criminalize you. Being and trying to recruit, we punish you by imprisonment. Raping, we kill you.
And also, there was much more than that. I think there was another one that said, if you host people like that, if you create a space where you're going to get them staying, it should be a problem. But that's when they scratched it apart. So that one was deleted. It was number one, do not walk in public holding each other hands and kissing. Number two, do not go talk to youngsters and teach them how to be like that, because they're still youngsters, they're still growing. It's not for you to do. Number three, if you happen to have that disease and you flaka with somebody and they get this disease, they're going to chop you up.
When you commit aggravated homosexuality, the law says you shall be liable to suffer death.
So the world was very angry about that. You know, human rights as well as the West, especially the West. They were very angry, saying you cannot do this or you're going to leave the consequences of that. Was Joe Biden's government.
We're certainly watching this real closely, and we would have to take a look at whether or not there might be repercussions that we would have to take, perhaps in an economic way, should this law actually get passed and enacted. And that would be really unfortunate, because so much of the economic assistance that we provide Uganda is health assistance.
And I even remember Ghana tried to do the very same thing. In Ghana, there was a parliamentarian named George something. It was very strong. He also said, we will not allow this in Ghana. It's not part of our culture.
Let me use this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to celebrate Mr. Speaker, who has been a stalwart and a bastion for this bill. But for Mr. Speaker, this bill would most likely have been killed. Mr. Speaker has stood his ground and ensured that this bill has come this far. And I want to use this opportunity with the support of my colleague members of Parliament, since we all support this bill, to serve notice to the Western powers that we have taken judicial notice of what they have done to the Speaker of Uganda. After Uganda passed the bill, the sanctions on the Speaker of Uganda's Parliament and on the sponsors of those bills, we will serve notice as well that if they replicate same with our Speaker and members of Parliament, we will also take action against their business interests in our country, because they serve in this country and make money from here and take back home. They cannot hold us to ransom.
Basically, what they did is they sent Kamala Harris. They voted the law. Kamala Harris went to Ghana and she said to them very subtly, do not vote this law in place, because if you do vote this law in place, the couple of $1 billion you're expecting in aid coming from the United States of America, you can kiss it goodbye.
Let me be clear about where we stand. First of all, for the American press who are here, you know that a great deal of work in my career has been to address human rights issues, equality issues across the board, including as it relates to the LGBT community. And I feel very strongly about the importance of supporting the freedom and supporting and fighting for equality among all people, and that all people be treated equally. I will also say that this is an issue that we consider, and I consider, to be a human rights issue, and that will not change.
And the file went into the president's desk because the president had to sign this into law. 3 weeks later, the president said, I have not seen the file. But the file has been in his desk for a long time. People understood that the president did not want to jeopardize the $3 billion because of the law they were signing into position. Now, basically in Uganda, it was different because Uganda says our communities have voted. Our religious communities voted. Muslims, Christians, and traditional leaders have voted. We don't want this in our country. We are creating a law to stop it. Now, this is our country. We can make our own decisions. It's not for you to teach us how to do. You should not do this. So then Americans were very angry and they said, okay, we're not going to give you opportunities. And what happened was America first stopped the help they used to send to Uganda. There was aid, about $300 million that Uganda received for people living with HIV. Okay, people living with HIV received $300 million from the United States of America. United States of America refused to send the money. Say, okay, we're stopping this. You're not getting this anymore. That was number one. Now, the question number one was, okay, why would you stop that? I mean, you're supposed to be good people, right? You're supposed to be helpers. You just want to help these people that are, living with this very difficult disease so they can have treatment and stuff. Why do you stop that? Now, why would you stop that? Because do those people have the power to vote the law? No, they don't. Did they vote the law saying that men who lack other will not? No, they didn't vote that. That's happened in Parliament. Yes, you have cancelled the visa of the Parliament president, a lady named Anita Onong, and her family members. But why are we as Sikh people in Uganda going through hardship for something that's political? We're not political. They still cut the aid. Then the next thing was IMF and World Bank. Okay, World Bank says, okay, we're not going to sponsor Uganda anymore. Now, what is World Bank? World Bank is this big institution, financial institution. They have money. Now, they borrow money to poor people, poor countries, okay, third world countries, so they can build infrastructures, roads, hospitals, and stuff like that. So if the country doesn't have money, they can go to World Bank and say, listen, please help us. We want to build schools, okay? Please help us. We need some money to build hospitals. World Bank will give them money. They will go build whatever they have to build. After building that, they need to reimburse the money with interest. That's how World Bank makes money. Also, so they lend you the money, even though the interest rate is very low, but it's an enormous amount of money. When you reimburse the money, they make interest. They get money from selling bonds and stuff. That's finance. We get into that some other time. So that was the situation. They stopped Uganda from getting $300 million. Then they stopped Uganda from accessing World Bank and other institutions because Uganda decided to do their own things. Guess how the president of Uganda reacted? Then he went to Russia. He said, I'm going to Russia. He just went to Russia out of nothing, just to go greet Vladimir Putin. And that's happened, guess what? At the very beginning of the war in Ukraine, when America really hated Russia, they just took a flight. Okay, you're going to... Went to Russia to salute the president over there. So we can do our own things. We don't need you. Uganda doesn't need you. Because, trust me, this president is very strong. He doesn't care. He's not afraid. And I'm asking myself a question. Is it because he's a soldier? He's been a soldier his whole life. He doesn't really give it, Does Africa perhaps need soldiers as leaders because they can stay strong? They can act in a strong way. They are disciplined. It's a question mark. Now, 2 years down the line, World Bank is back. Okay, they're back. They say in June 2025, World Bank announced that Uganda had taken adequate steps to address these concerns. As a result, the bank approved 3 new development projects focused on social protection, education, and support for displaced persons and refugees, targeting sectors identified as having critical needs. The World Bank remains a major source of external funding for Uganda, especially in areas like infrastructure and transportation. Now, this is making it sound like Uganda went to them. Bottom line is they came back to Uganda saying, listen, we want to work with you. Now, did Uganda reverse its law? No, it didn't. That law is still in place. What lesson you learn? They will put pressure on you to do their things. You resist long enough, you resist strong enough, they'll come back. Do you know Saudi Arabia? Do you know how they treat people that like other people like them in Saudi Arabia? Do you have any idea? Well, they take them to a very high building, very, very high, like 20 levels high or 40. Then they throw them over. That's what they do in Saudi Arabia. But you'll never see people getting angry at Saudi Arabia and sanctioning them, saying we're not going to send you any of this. None of that. Why? Because Saudi Arabia have oil. It's a strong power. They need Saudi Arabia for influence. Now, Uganda is just a small little African country. I mean, those Africans can open their mouth. You remember what America did a while back in Uganda? After Uganda voted that law, they flew the flag very high. Look at the flag. They flew that in opposition to say, okay, this is America. We do understand that the embassy is an entire entity from another country. Okay? The American embassy is like America in Uganda. But they flew a flag very, very high. How did you fly the flag just when Uganda says we're voting a law? You fly the flag very high. Would you do that in Saudi Arabia? No, you wouldn't. Well, it's just a bunch of Africans, a bunch of black people. How are they going to do? They're not going to do anything. How much do you love each other, Africans? How much do you love each other? Do you really love Africans? I know Africans come together because they look alike. Yeah. And this is not exclusive to Africans, because people that look alike tend to come together naturally because you expect to have the same values, the same ideas, the same modus operandi, or maybe the same history. But coming together should be constructive, building each other up, moving one another forward, not the opposite. Because unfortunately, unlike what we see in other communities where once one of you is doing okay, other people put themselves together to push him even further. One of you is trying to do something positive and he doesn't have the fundings. And some of you or some of others will come together contributing €1, $1 so they can push him further. Unlike our communities, that doesn't work that way. I mean, the bottom line is if today you say we have somebody in a community that needs $50,000 to start a business or to start a project that is had for the past 15 years, it is confirmed that it's going to work. And we ask each of you to give $1. $1. Many of you won't give. Maybe 20 will give, but there's over 250,000 people. Most won't give. Why? Because you're going to be like, that money, what is he going to do with it? Yeah, other people will give. That's what it is. I mean, some people even come in my comment section telling me I must make my news. Like, no, this is not how you must speak. You mustn't repeat this and that. Like, dude, how much money do you pay to get news here? Who the hell do you think you are? I mean, you're not like part of these people right here. If you look at this is the group, private group people. I can understand them because they actively here. They're actually actively here. So you just came out of nowhere and come telling us, no, this is not how you should be doing the news. You sound like CNN. Bro, you must go jump right into conclusions. Don't tell us your speech before you speak about the news. Like, who called you here? Who called you here? I can only listen to suggestions from people that are in the group. I'll listen to the suggestions, not you. You come here, you just sit right there. You want to hear the news the way you want to hear the news. This is my platform, baby. I'm going to tell you how I feel first before you watch the news. If you don't like it, well, join the group. Now, let's get back on track. My question is, why can't we help each other? Why can't we help one another? You know, in other communities, they'll tell you, you must work with your people. Okay? Work with your people so you can grow. It's only within black people community where you hear people saying, oh, don't ever do business with family. Yeah. I know some Americans, white Americans, or something, but in most places, if you go to Serbians, they work together. Pakistanis, it's family business. Italians, it's family business. It grows. You go to Greek, family business. They grow together. You see them meeting each other once a month at a mother's family. Let's say you have 8 brothers who are all married. They all work in the same business. They created a business so they don't have to work for anybody else. They make sure their children are also trained into the business they're working in. And at the end of the month, on a Friday or a Saturday, they all go to their mother, who is the grandmother to the children. Or 8 boys, okay, or 8 men, their wives and their children. So there's sense of community. The wealth is not going anywhere else. They're paying their own children as managers. They're training them. Why can't we do it? Why are we unable to come together and build something? Why can you not work with your brothers? They are your blood brothers. The bottom line, you're scared of your own brothers because you feel like, if I let my brother work in a business, he might spend the money and I won't have the courage to send him to jail. Why does your brother need to break the business down instead of pushing it forward? I don't understand. Did God create us with different substance from other people? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's like the best thing that brings us together is when you want to destroy another black man. And this is not limited to Africans. This, you will find it in America within Black American community. You will find it in the Caribbean. You will find it in Asian. Same thing, same demons. It's very sad. This has got to change. Somehow it has to change. We are in Kenya, I feel. This is Kenya. It's a map. Beautiful place, lovely people. Have you been to Kenya before? Wow, I suggest Nairobi, vibey, very interesting. Hotels, restaurants, clubs, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful. Mombasa, the beach, the winds, the sands, the Caribbean in Africa. Beautiful place. Now in Kenya, something very drastic is up. I know we've spoken about Kenya lately. Yeah, we need to speak about this. We can't shut down. I'm going to read so we can make this fast, okay? I'm going to read. Now, so in Kenya, there's a young man that's been thrown in jail for making a comment. Okay, a comment over who? About a politician. And he's been unalived for that.
Albert cannot stand this day to testify in court. If Albert did a mistake, let him testify in court. That's why we have court. Okay. Let him testify in court. But what happened between here and Homa Bay, only Albert can tell us. And unfortunately, as I've said, dead bodies tell no tale.
In consecutive terms, ICC suspect number 1, Uhuru. ICC suspect number 2, Ruto. Yes. I am not surprised. I am not surprised that this government is hunting and hounding the dissenters of this regime because they are using the Moi manual.
For making a comment about a politician, and you talk about white people being bad people, and you talk about colonialists destroying you, we need to review this, fellas. Let's go. Several Kenyan police officers have been suspended after a man was unalive in custody under suspicious circumstances, prompting a national outcry and a demand for an investigation. Albert Obiang, a teacher and blogger. So he teaches people, teaches children, and he blogs. So he teaches, which is his vocation, and he blogs because bloggers in most cases are just people that have a lot to express. It's only lately that blogging has become a means of income. And that's why you see all the bloggers are the best, because it's never because of the money. Okay, it's the people that follow the money that bring you nonsense. It's usually the deep people that were filled with ideas, the artists, the writers. Those are the ones that brought you the real news and whatever. Now, this man, a blogger, was arrested on Friday in a western town of Homa Bay following a complaint by Kenyan Deputy Police Chief Eliud Lagat, who accused him of defamation on social media. So a police chief deputy accused this man of defamation on social media. So you're scrutinizing people on social media, what they're saying. That's what I say to you all, fellas. Okay. Some of these countries you can go to, okay, where you call racism every day, you can actually say things about the president on your social media. Nobody's going to come looking for you. Nobody's going to come bother you. No one, unless you go and throw a stone at the president cottage or carcade, that's when you're going to have real issues. But if you express yourself about the president, nobody's going to come look for you. It is in Africa where they do such things to you. Okay, they will look for you at the airport, they will find you, they will block your passport, they will take you to places without registering you officially. I mean, instead of being prosecuted locally, Obiang was transported over 350 kilometers, about 220 miles, to Nairobi. Okay, They took him to Nairobi where he was held at a police station. Imagine taking somebody 350 kilometers. What are you trying to do? Why would you spend your fuel, your energy, your resources to displace somebody 350 kilometers to another place if you don't have bad intentions? Or at least you want to teach him the most ruthless lesson ever. According to the police, the 31-year-old allegedly suffered fatal head injury after hitting his head against a cell wall. Okay, he hit his head against a cell wall, and that unalived him. And he was later found unconscious during a routine cell. So they were just inspecting the cell. That is when they found that the man was unconscious. So he was declared unalive at his arrival at the hospital. However, human rights groups have cast serious doubt on this version of the event.
Because at this point in time, we are saying enough is enough. We are losing too many lives at the hands of the police. No matter what happens, custody, police, someone should not lose their lives.
They must give us the particular occurrence book number so that then we know when Albert was booked.
How can you transfer somebody onto a 300-kilometer police if he wasn't even booked locally as arrested? I mean, you're in this town, okay? Let's say you do something negative and you should be legally detained, but you're not registered in the police locally. You transfer 350 kilometers away, 220 miles, and you talk about love amongst Africans? Let me continue. The response to the growing backlash, the Inspector General of the police, Douglas Kanja, confirmed that all officers on duty at the Nairobi station during Obiang detention, including the station commanding officer, have been interdicted. They are barred from active duty and will receive half a pay pending the outcome of the injury. So all active officers that were in the office or the police station where this man was detained, where he lost his life, are going to be set aside. They're going to get half their salary until they get a solution to this. How do you feel about this? Now, an independent police oversight authority, the IPOA, which is leading the investigation, has pledged to deliver justice. We will do everything to ensure accountability, not only for the family, but for all Kenyans. This is what Mr. Ahmed Asak Hassan has said. Well, Mr. Ahmed Asak Hassan, the entire Africa is watching. Okay, we all watching, and we expect a lot of good things coming from you. We expect nothing but justice for this man. Okay, we're tired of the Africans subjugating another African. We're tired of seeing Africans lose their life within the hand of other Africans. I think there should be rough and ruthless reaction against people that are guilty in this situation, in the name of peace and in the name of humanity. Because that man that's unalive is somebody's son.
We are harmless. We have nothing to say. God will bring revenge for us.
Somebody has paid the price for him. Somebody carried him for 9 months. Somebody looked after him, paid the school fees. It's probably somebody's husband. Somebody's gonna cry forever because some dude's ego is too big. Why do you want to be in government if you can't take criticism? Why do you want to be part of politics if you cannot take criticism? Even artists, musicians take criticism. They get insulted every day. That's a decision you make as soon as you say, okay, I'm going to be a public servant. You're going to be insulted. Even pastors are insulted. Why can't you keep your ego on check? Then find another job. If you cannot be questioned, if you're going to work for the people, you will be questioned. They will ask you for accountability. Well, you want to mute this guy because he's saying something truth. That's the only reason why you want to mute him. Because if he's talking rubbish, why would you be angry? Why would you be angry if somebody's talking rubbish about you? People don't get upset when people talk rubbish about them. People get upset when people tell the truth that is deranging about them. People get angry when you touch the place that is actually real. It's a wound that exists. We pray for the Kenyan authority to do something about this. In the name of Africa, in the name of this man's family, whether he said something or not, he does not deserve to be unalived. He doesn't deserve that. I mean, this is sad because this is not new. Just a few weeks ago, okay, not even a few weeks, a couple of days ago, there was another lady that was arrested, okay, Rose Njeri in Kenya. She was charged under the cybercrime law after creating an app. She's an app creator, a programmer or an engineer, okay? She created an app to mobilize opposition to the government's financial bill. The government had voted the bill a few months ago. This bill would charge Kenyans an extra fee for most of the products, like period pads, you pay the period pad with the tax on top of it. Bread, you pay the bread with the tax on top of it. Cancer treatments, you pay for your cancer, you're already suffering, there is a tax on top of it. People went, no, we're not going to do this. Well, the Kenyan government apparently needed that because they were indebted. They needed funding. The best way to get funding was to get money from the people from tax. But people were not happy with that. There could have been much different ways of handling this. Now, this lady created an app to get people together to synchronize their actions so they can be heard. Why is she being arrested? Why was she arrested? I think these are the people the government should sponsor because it shows resilience, it shows strength, it shows technicalities, it shows efficiency. She's efficient, she's a lady. This is the type of people that some of the biggest governments in the world will take. They will nurture you, they'll bring you together, they will build you up, they will not subject you into oppression because does the country belong to 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 people, or the country belongs to all Kenyans? Can't other people speak their minds? We are crying for justice for this man, okay? This teacher and blogger and father and son, we are crying for justice for him. And we trust that the Kenyan private police or the Kenyan special police will do something about it. Who are the real oppressors of Africans? Are the real oppressors of Africans colonialists? Are the real oppressors of Africans those people that you point fingers at? Can you really say that? This man right here is the president of Botswana. Botswana, you know what Botswana is? Here it is. Lovely country, beautiful people. Botswana is one of the biggest producers of diamond. Now this president wants to change things. And he's taken a very strong stance, as you can see. This is the very first time people see him in military equipment. At least my very first time. You let me know if you've seen him before. His politics is very clear. He says he wants to have more hands at work. In this speech, he says some very, very important things about development, about delivering promises as a president. Is this man moving to the direction of Ibrahim Traore, General Tiani, and Assimi Goïta? Let's listen to what he has to say.
And I have said, I want to change this country spectacularly in 3 years. So I don't have 10 years. I don't have 5 years. I don't have 6 months to decide whether or not and go to court. No, I don't have that time. People, yourselves, need accommodation.
You have to be very strong to fix Africa. You have to be very strong.
And if I'm going to submit myself to a process that will take me 10 years to deliver accommodation to you, then I would have failed you and failed you spectacularly. So what do? We need to ensure that there's transparency, there's openness, there's accountability in each and every process that we undertake. No doubt, that is not negotiable. And that there is no corruption.
Wow.
And so people say, when you acknowledge a failed system,
that's true,
and you say, whatever we do, we must not do this one. He say he's trying to give tenders to his relatives. I want you to know my relatives. Just check, you'll know them. You need to know them so that you can track.
Changing Africans is not easy. You have to sacrifice yourself to change Africans. It's a lot of work.
Whether any one of my relatives has any tender, you need to ascertain, you need to be sure about these things. So that when these allegations are flung about.
Being a president is not just being in the office looking good and driving a nice car or being driven. Being a president is being in the field and making things happen. And this is what we're seeing.
Because one is seeking to move from an entrenched system of corruption to something that offers us some redemption, yet you are able to interrogate the allegations. And we must interrogate the allegations together. And so it's going to be very critical for us to find ways of moving away from this corrupt system and engaging in a different one that we can monitor and track.
Yeah.
One that delivers results timeously, within budget, no corruption. And so we need to look for the best practices.
This is crazy.
And that we will do. If there's anything that I'm not afraid to do,
we want this.
It is to take decisive measures, even in the face of opposition and hostility. If it has to be done, it is good for the country, it is good for the people, I will do it. Make no mistake about it. I declare this and I declare it publicly so that it is known, so that when you gauge and you assess, you understand how I approach these matters.
Very impressive.
And with me, I'm always open to engagement.
Africa needs more people like this. Africa needs more people like this.
You disagree with me? Let's talk. You tell me, I think you're getting it wrong here. And I'll listen to you.
This president is brand new. You can clearly see he's trying to make a very strong impact. He doesn't want to leave office and say, oh, we should have done this, we could have done this, we would have done this. He wants to be impactful. This is clear. He wants the army to be strong. He wants his people protected.
And if I realize you are correct, I will say it to you, but not just to you, I'll also say it publicly. I've been advised by my friend or my colleague that this approach is wrong. I have reassessed. I have come to the conclusion that it is actually wrong, and we self-correct. That's how you operate. Because we're all frail and fallible. This is the concept of Bofokoti. This is what it means. When you say that, it means you appreciate your own frailties, your own brokenness. You're broken and fissured yourself. And so, when others come and they approach you with a different perspective, you pay attention. And when you realize they are correct, you heed what they say. This is how you operate in a sane and sober environment. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what position you occupy.
True.
It's called humility. Just the ability to acknowledge that I may be wrong. Even when you think you've got it right 100%, you may actually be 100% wrong.
Impressive.
And when somebody challenges you, if you think you are right and you believe in the correctness of your proposition, then it becomes an opportunity for you to persuade them, to win them over, or be won over to their side. And so I don't understand why sometimes there's conflict. When we engage on any issue, and you know, you assess. That's why you do recon. You collect data. You assess it critically. You examine it from different perspectives. And then you take a decision. But if you go out there, rumor and gossip gets people so excited. Even some who call themselves analysts, you look at what they're trying to say, there's no analysis. But you,
this is shocking,
by virtue of your profession, your training, are analysts, because you deal only in facts. And you take decisions based on accurate information, not speculation, not rumor, not gossip, not pettiness, not frivolity, not absurdity. That's your job. And you need to demonstrate these capabilities because you have them. And so it's important for us to understand these issues.
Very impressive.
And I commit here and now and going forward to working with you to build the Botswana Defense Force so that it truly provides for security, accountability, and meritocracy. That your actions on and off duty reflect our respect for human rights and the rule of law. Let us build a force, a defense force.
Wow.
That is not only formidable in capability,
Wow.
but one that is also exemplary in character. And if we do this, we will ensure that the Botswana Defense Force remains a pillar of peace, security, and progress for generations to come. I also would like to urge, there are many programs that we are trying to develop on the trot.
Wow.
One of them is a housing program.
True. True.
Called Bonno Housing Scheme.
That's true.
The bold ambition of this program is to ensure home ownership. That no person in this country be without a decent house. And I've seen how many of our people retire
I agree.
into penury, into poverty. And there's a structural explanation for this. And I've said before, we have operated a low-wage economy across for a very long time, such that a person who earns 20,000 belongs in the top 1%.
This is crazy.
Of high-income earners in this country. 20,000. And so you can imagine if you slide all the way down, what it means for the everyday experience of our people. This should be a source of grave concern for all of us, especially for government.
Very impressive.
We need to be very concerned about this. And so when we complain, with good reason, we need to understand that we are dealing with a structural problem. And so we must face up to it and address it structurally. So this housing scheme is an attempt to place immovable property in the hands of citizens, as many of them as we possibly can. And the ambition is to build 100,000 of these houses in the next 3 years. I've said 3. The minister says he wants to do it in 2 years. And so this program is being rolled out in every constituency. The minimum is 1,000 houses. And so wherever you come from,
Wow.
You are entitled, if you have a piece of land that you've not been able to develop because of the challenges
That's true.
that we all face, you now can, for a very reasonable amount per month, at least put up some decent shelter. The idea is to ensure our citizens have decent accommodation. But we'll also engage in other programs that seek to deliberately transfer wealth, claw it back from where it is, and place it in the hands of the most ordinary of our citizens. It is an obligation. Government has to do this if it is a government of the people, for them and by them.
Yeah.
We are also in the process
This is shocking.
of finalizing the development of a comprehensive national security strategy for this country.
We want
in order to enhance our security ecosystem. This strategy will provide us with a framework to respond to both external and internal threats, to fashion effective and sagacious, far-sighted security policies, and allocate resources in a manner that strengthens our national resilience. And it will also lead to role clarity in our security environment. And so I call upon all of you, as the custodians of our peace and stability, to provide your insights, your experience and your wisdom in order to shape this strategy and ensure that it reflects our national values, responds to emerging security challenges, and that it upholds our sovereignty and our territorial integrity in this ever-changing security environment. I am aware that one of the most significant obstacles to developing an effective national security strategy is a lack of consensus, common ground and vision on our national security priorities. This has led to a national security strategy being reactive, as opposed to being proactive.
True. True.
In some countries, and indeed maybe in ours as well,
That's true.
defense budgets have been drastically reduced to address other competing priorities and national requirements. But we must appreciate that if we go too far down that road, we stand to suffer immensely in times of need. And so we must position ourselves to be ever ready, properly resourced, having honed and refined our strategic capabilities. And so we must take our cue from what is happening in the region and understand that we must prepare ourselves well in advance, in anticipation, so that we do not wait for tragedy to befall us and then begin
This is
to
shocking.
prepare under pressure of calamity.
This is crazy. We want this.
Esteemed senior officers, Botswana's participation in peacekeeping missions stands as an abiding testament to an unwavering commitment to regional stability, unity, and shared progress. Through these missions, we did not only help restore peace in conflict-affected areas, but we also strengthened bonds of friendship with our
Very
neighbors.
impressive.
We fostered mutual trust and regional interdependence. Our involvement promotes collective security, it enhances our diplomatic influence, and it reinforces Botswana's role as a responsible and proactive member of the international community. Our active participation in the SADC mission in Mozambique, SAMIM, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, SAMI DRC, evidences this. And we must applaud you and applaud through you ourselves as a country.
Wow.
Turning now to people issues. The BDF has made significant strides in gender integration aimed at addressing issues of equality, equity, and inclusivity. This is demonstrated by the active participation of women in peace and security initiatives on a global stage, and further by the command decision to establish the Gender Integration Office in the BDF. Gender mainstreaming is a critical component of the military for operational efficiency and effectiveness. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, another plague that afflicts us is domestic violence, gender-based violence, murder, suicides, and such like.
I agree.
These pose a serious threat to our national security. These crimes undermine our development agenda, erode social cohesion, and trample upon human rights.
Yeah.
These need urgent and coordinated attention across all sections of our population.
This is shocking.
And you took an oath
This is
to
crazy.
defend, to protect.
We want this.
And this oath precludes, it prohibits you from becoming perpetrators of gender-based violence. You must display at all times the discipline, a kind of discipline that moderates your reaction
Very impressive.
to crisis and challenge. A kind of discipline that enables you to be an exemplar in society. Of course, you are human beings as well. Some of these challenges tax you emotionally and physically. But you are a different breed. You are a trained species of human being, steeped in certain values and a certain order of discipline. that must enable you to step back, to reflect soberly and sensibly about some of these challenges, even when they affect you personally. And they affect all of us, by the way. Make no mistake about it. Well, none of us is immune. It is how we choose to react that sets us apart. And so we, you, in the disciplined forces, must be the ones that lead by example.
Wow.
And so we must all hold hands.
True.
And protect, defend the country and society against gender-based violence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege for me to be here with you today and to speak to you at this 20th Senior Officers Strategic Conference, which you hold under the theme Embracing a New Dawn in Defense Capabilities Inspired by Human Security,
I agree.
Accountability, and Meritocracy. The theme is bold and it is timely. It is as bold and timely as it is inspirational. It sounds a clarion call for transformation, innovation, a people-centered approach to national defense, and a demonstration of a steadfast commitment to the values that have defined the Botswana Defense Force for decades.
We want this.
This theme speaks not only of change in our hardware and tactics, but also to our systems and people. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Director of Proceedings and other members of the BDF for your dedicated service and for keeping Botswana safe. Botswana appreciate the sacrifices you make, often at a huge personal cost, in order to attain a safe and stable environment in which personal freedoms are assured. We owe you and the entire membership of the BDF a debt that we can never fully repay. So let me acknowledge here and now that I've interacted with the commander on many occasions, and he has outlined to me some of the challenges that the BDF is currently facing. These include issues pertaining to conditions of service for the members, as well as the civilian employees of the BDF. Operational readiness, social welfare challenges, mostly aggravated by the ever-changing operational environment in which you exist.
That's true.
I give you my assurance, solemn and serious.
Impressive.
That government is committed to ensuring that our military is adequately equipped and resourced for the full range of military operations it has to undertake. We will continue to listen to your concerns.
I agree.
With an open mind, and we will continue to address these concerns in the best manner we can.
I agree.
Some of the challenges that face us and you involve issues of pensions, and when they involve pensions, they obviously implicate retirement, which for the BDF occurs very early.
This is crazy.
Maybe there's need to engage on that issue, the age of retirement. I've reflected on it privately. I want us to reflect on it publicly and engage each other and establish whether this age, which has applied for so many years, is the right and perfect age for retirement. We also are wrestling with issues of accommodation, healthcare services, equipment maintenance, refurbishment, and replacement of your military wear. We may ask, what do Botswana expect from you in return?
Wow.
In your service to this nation, the citizens expect you to be gatekeepers of all the things that are good and noble about the profession of arms. Botswana reposes special trust and confidence in you to serve them with diligence above all other considerations. Your first responsibility is the protection of life, and you cannot have your members act otherwise. Any departure from this professional conduct will invariably erode the trust and confidence that the nation places in you.
Impressive.
You are the nation's first line of defense. The nation expects of you to provide a secure and stable environment, which is a foundation upon which economic growth is built. This is because your role in maintaining national peace and security,
I agree,
directly and indirectly enhances Botswana's attractiveness to foreign investors. One of the investors who had only been in Botswana for 3 days expressed to me how he had fallen so much in love with the country in those 3 days. And I asked him what it was about the country that had been so attractive to him. And he said to me, there's a fundamental niceness about the country. Fundamental niceness. And I was extremely happy because I understood deep in my heart that that fundamental niceness is constructed around the peace and the stability this country offers, a predictable and safe environment undergirded by a disciplined, committed Botswana Defense Force. And so I urge and encourage that you continue to be that anchor for the country and its economy, and be that bulwark of safety and security, peace, that guarantees the enjoyment of the fundamental rights, human rights that every citizen must enjoy. And these rights, we all must know, are both universal and they are interdependent and indivisible. Human rights are interdependent. You cannot assure one to the exclusion of others. You must assure them all.
True.
And they are indivisible. That is why it becomes a fundamental imperative for the country to ensure that those who guarantee its peace, its safety and security are themselves taken care of. It is an obligation, therefore, to look after the Botswana Defense Force. It is your work,
I agree,
your commitment that continues to reassure investors that Botswana is a safe destination for capital
I agree,
and innovation in this era of the knowledge economy. And I've said it is the knowledge economy. If you don't want to say knowledge economy, you can say the experimental economy.
This is shocking.
An economy that must thrive on vigorous subjacent experimentation, innovation, creativity.
We want this.
The ability to defy the conventional and the commonplace. The ability to venture into the realm of the far removed, the speculative. And fashion solutions that may not have been known before. Because if we remain hostages of the current, then we will fail
Very impressive.
to enter the gates of the future. So I encourage you to be innovative, to embrace technology, to develop and deploy homegrown solutions to the challenges that you face. You should always think innovatively around technology and its utilization in relation to the defense systems. And refine your tactical acumen accordingly. Your innovative ideas could very easily give birth to a defense industry that will not only shorten your supply chain, but can also make you self-sufficient in certain supplies, as well as contribute to economic development. In this regard, I have directed that a feasibility study on setting up a defense industry be prioritized.
That's true.
And your technical input is essential. We need to develop this military industrial complex. We need to develop it quickly. And so we will have to amend the laws so that they facilitate this and conduce to its realization in the shortest possible time. It will present prospects and opportunities for many of you. That whatever we decide ultimately about the retirement age, retirement may only mean shifting from active duty into a corollary supportive industry. Who is best placed to be involved in that defense industry than yourselves?
We want this.
And so I'd urge you to attend to this matter with dispatch because it presents a special opportunity for you.
Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.